Say it again. Is anybody getting her? No.
How about now?
Yes, now.
Woohoo! Okay.
Yeah.
So, hi everybody.
Do you want us all to go you too?
No, well, you can if you want. Sure, we'll just do the wave. How's that?
Yay! Okay, we'll do it. We'll do it. Oh,
Okay.
somebody almost spoke me. I think it was Rob Murray. Jason, do you have any snacks up there for us?
No.
I think Chase is ignoring us down here. Okay. Debbie, would you
Yes.
like to please present your topic for us now?
Sure.
What to expect.
Okay, thank you. All right, I sent you some files and hopefully you got them. I don't know why I don't see me on this, but that's okay. So I'd like to go over, well, first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Debbie Luttrell. I've been at the state office for about 15 years now. You should have received, from at least from today, you should have received something called Second Vice District Governor-elect Training Seminar. And if you, excuse me, go to that first page, inside page, there's a little bit of information about me and some information about the state office, phone numbers, addresses, things like that. It's important to know that when you call or when you send me an email, please use the ohiolions@gmail.com address, because I have my own personal address, but be perfectly honest, I very rarely look at it. So if you'd use the Ohio Lions one, I look at that all day, every day, even on Sunday. So feel free to do that. And also feel free to call my cell number, which is on that page also. During business hours or after business hours, it doesn't matter. If you have a question, I'll be more than happy to help you. The rest of this little booklet, at least the first couple of pages, has to do with a little bit about what goes on in the office and some of the activities that I do. But I do want you to turn to page 4 for a second. And under committees and activities, because you're going to hear about this later when we're talking about the financial statements. But if you do not know, here's all at the bottom of the list or page is a listing of all the active committees, state committees that we have at MD13. It does not include the foundations because they're run separately, but these are all the active ones. And the reason I point that out to you is when you're governor, you're going to be a liaison for those committees. For one of those, or actually probably multiple, since there's only 7 governors and there's far more than 7 committees. But anyway, start doing some research on these committees, see what you want to do in the future to be a liaison with them. Okay, so what I'd like to do is go to page 7, please, of that little booklet. The other thing I just want to bring to mind towards the bottom of page 7 is the breakdown of dues. So if you do not know the breakdown of dues, this will help you out. I at least get a couple of questions every year at the start of the year. You guys will go on visitations, and then the first question is, well, what are my dues going towards? So this is at least a breakdown for you that you can have written down. And okay, so finally, if you turn the next page, what we're also going to do is kind of look at the event planning. So on page 8, the events that we have throughout the year, and also look at the calendar of events that I sent you for this upcoming year, or this year actually. So obviously this weekend would have been the first Council of Governors weekend. And that the first meeting of every council, or of every year, Lions year, is usually the first weekend in August. Some point down the road, I will turn around and give the first Vice District Governors this year a calendar for the next year to say, are these dates okay with your calendars? But for right now, assume that it's always the first or second weekend, full weekend on August. This year is a little bit different, but if you can see on page 8, I left the stuff in because this is what normally would happen. We'd have hospitality on Friday night at the joint F&P and council meeting on Saturday afternoon. The state committees would have met on Saturday morning, and then on Sunday would be the actual Council of Governors meeting. So it is a full weekend of activities. Normally in September, typically the third week, you would have the USA Canada Forum. That's been canceled this year, but next year it will be in Des Moines, Iowa. So get excited about Des Moines. But on October 3rd, we'll have state committee meetings. It's the only time in which the state committees will meet, not attached to a Council of Governors meeting. So that'll give you an opportunity to go to some of the meetings. Hopefully they'll be at the School for the Blind, but since the School for the Blind is not in session because of COVID-19, we can't meet there. So I'll be scrounging around looking for a place to meet, but that's an opportunity for you to go and see what's going on with all the different committees that will be meeting that weekend. The second Council of Governors meeting, and hopefully we will be meeting face-to-face, is November 7th. It's on a Saturday, and typically it's in the morning, but that'll be up to Council Chair Kenny on exactly what time he wants it. That night, the Friday night before, if we got some people that'll come on down to spend the night, the second vice governors will be responsible for some hospitality, and that could just be playing cards and eating chips or whatever we want to do. And then the Council of Governors meeting is Saturday morning. So that's an option if you want to come down and spend the night on Friday night or not. We then have the winter retreat. I do want to point out that the winter retreat is optional. It is, even though it is an MD13 event, just because you're on the Council of Governors does not mean you have to be there. This is a fun weekend and leadership informational weekend. So it's totally optional if you want to come to that. And that's at Salt Fork this year. Then the third round of meetings, that's in February. Again, it'll be state committee meetings in the morning and the council meeting in the afternoon on that same day. I've listed the dates of the different conventions. Hopefully you'll have time to go see those throughout the year, or this spring, because it's kind of fun. It gives you also ideas on what you can do at your conventions. And then the fourth Council of Governors meeting is the state convention. And that's in May. It's typically the third weekend in May. This year it is May 21st through the 23rd. And that is a really busy weekend, obviously, because there's committee meetings on Friday. The Council of Governors meeting is Friday. Opening dinner is typically Friday night. Business sessions and leadership sessions on Saturdays. Since we weren't able to do a really big 100th anniversary, I believe that's going to be carried over until the big celebration for that state convention. So there may be something Saturday night, and then Sunday is the grand banquet. So it's jam-packed. You'll be voting on issues that come before Constitution and bylaws. And so if you can spend the whole weekend, that's good. If you like driving back and forth, that's okay too. You can do that. And then we go right around to the super weekend and we'll see what happens. But just for your information items on page 9, if you're going to come down and spend the night in November or February, I'm going to ask you to make your own hotel reservations. What I typically have done years ago was go ahead and make everybody a reservation and then count on you to cancel it if you weren't coming down. I got burned a few times on having to pay a hotel night that wasn't taken. So for those nights, for those two events, if you would please make your own hotel reservations if you want to stay, that would be helpful. The state convention weekend, I will make reservations for you. And then I'm going to turn around, and usually I make them Friday and Saturday, well, usually Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights, unless you tell me way ahead of time you only want Friday and Saturday. But I'll turn around and give you the reservation number, and then you can deal with the hotel and make the changes as you need to fit your schedules. But that way I'm assured that everybody on council has a hotel room for that weekend. And then, like I said, you can cancel it if you want, or however you would like to do that. But just so you know ahead of time. And then the very last page, page 10, kind of gives you an idea of who's responsible for what. Like the second vice district governor elects for next year for 21. They're responsible for the hospitality rooms and tail twisting. The first vice governor elects, their sergeant at arms, and so on. So this will give you an idea. I've just tried to paraphrase during this training, but just to give you an idea of what you're responsible for and just some other information. First, let me stop and ask, is there any questions? Oh, must have done a good job. No questions. All right. The last thing that I sent you, it was a paper that had pictures of badges. And just for your knowledge, and you're going to start meeting a lot of people that you're going to walk up and they're going to have an octagon badge, or they're going to have a round badge, or whatever. And this is just a little information on what those badges mean, and who, before you're sitting there trying to stare at the badge to figure out who this guy is that you're talking to, at least you have an idea that either he's a past international director, or he's a governor from someplace else, or whatever. So this just was a little piece of information that others have found interesting in the past. So, no questions? I can't hear you, Rebecca.
I have a question.
Okay.
Where do we get those badges for our, if we're to wear a name tag?
Okay,
Where do we get those?
I ordered them, so as they come in, I've been mailing them. So yours hasn't come, well, yours actually was misspelled, so I had to reorder yours.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Matt, did you get yours? You're muted, Matt. You did get it? Okay, good. So hopefully most of you have gotten your badges. You're shaking your head, Kenny. You didn't get your badge yet? Okay. Well, it should be coming any day. Got your pin though. Okay, any other questions?
Deb, just
Yes.
briefly, I did not get that paperwork. If it may be out somewhere in cyberspace, but
Okay, I sent it about probably this afternoon. So, but I'll go ahead and send it to you again.
okay.
Anything else? Okie doke. Well, I am finished then, Barry. That's my little slice of heaven.